Hi guys! Happy Tuesday! I'm super excited to see you again here for Miss Kathy's Talk, where we'll have a quick lesson about what's happening in Jesus' life this week before Easter, a memory verse from my dog Chester, and a joke from my cat Opie. And then we'll spin the wheel. I happen to be busy looking at this photo album. And you know, when I want to remember things, I will pick up a photo album and I'll go, oh, I forgot that happened. Oh, I'm so glad I looked at this again. Those were good times. And so there's something that happened in Jesus' life the week before he died that he wanted his disciples to remember. And we still remember it today. What I'm talking about is it's called Passover. And back then in Bible times, when Jesus was alive on earth, people were celebrating a holiday called Passover, where they were remembering when Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt. Remember all that? And it's kind of like taking Thanksgiving and Christmas and putting it together and having a big meal. Well, that's what they were doing at Passover. And Jesus sat down and we're having a big meal with his disciples. And we call that today either the Last Supper or the Lord's Supper. Either one, if you hear those terms talked about, that's what we're meaning. The last meal Jesus had with his disciples. And he said to them as they were eating, he picked up a piece of bread and he broke it like this. And he reminded them, he says, "This is the last meal I'll eat with you. This bread represents my body, broken." And he then said, "Take and eat and remember my body, which will be broken for you." And they were all looking at each other going, what's he talking about? See, we all know he's getting ready to die. And even though he's been trying to prepare them, they weren't realizing it was getting ready to happen. And then they were also having some wine with their Last Supper. And so he picked it up, and he picked up his wine, and he says, "This wine represents the blood that I will shed for you." Now, I just have some juice. It doesn't matter if it's bread exactly or wine. The fact is that we take it to remember the blood that he spilt for us. So he said, "Take and drink," and his disciples did. "This represents the blood that I will shed for you." And his friends really didn't understand what was going on. And so what Jesus was trying to tell everyone to do was trying to say, don't forget. Please remember what I am doing for you. And so, as followers of Jesus, if you admit you're a sinner, believe that Jesus is God's Son, and choose to follow him, the Bible wants us to take the Lord's Supper, or it can be called communion. And when we're in children's church, the adults out in the big sanctuary, they can go up to a table up front and take a little, I think it's a piece of cracker, and a little cup of grape juice, and have that to remember what God has done for us. But there's a pretty special verse that I think will explain things even more. Chester, can you come on up and bring the verse? Come here, Chester. Thank you. What a good boy. Let's see what this verse says. 1 Corinthians 11:28. "Everyone ought to examine themselves before they eat of the bread and drink from the cup." Like examine, like a doctor's exam? No, I know what it means. It means we need to look inside of our hearts and say to ourselves, is there some things I need to talk to God about? Are there some sins that I've been doing? So let me show you what you could do before you might want to take communion someday if you believe in Jesus. Dear God, please forgive me for those sins that I just did. Please help me to have a good attitude and stay focused on following you. Amen. And so I just took communion, or the Lord's Supper, as some people call it. Examine yourself. Take the bread to remember the body that was broken, and the drink to remember the blood that he shed for us. I love you guys. All right. Now, let's hear from Opie, my kitty cat, with a joke for today. Where's my Opie? Oh, Opie! Are you playing in the volcano again? He loves the volcano. He's coming. All right. Opie, you got a special joke? Let me see. You want to say hi to the kids? Say hi, kids. This is Opie. I bet this is another Easter joke. Could be. Let me see. Yes. What is the Easter Bunny's favorite kind of music? Hip hop. Get it? Hop, bunny. Now it's time to spin the wheel. Now remember, guys, if I spin a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'll pull out a cross kid for a prize to be delivered to your home. 7 through 12 is an extra fun thing that I have to do. We haven't landed on that yet. And 13 through 18 is just thrill of victory. Okay, let's go spin this wheel. It's a 6, which is a prize to a cross kid. Okay. Now, we've got our Carlinville, Staunton, and Heddick kids in here. So let me pull out Fisher McNeil from the Staunton campus. I'll be in contact with someone, and I will drop off a special something just for you. Thanks. See you guys tomorrow.